This video is part 2 in a series that looks at bike parking, or the lack of bike parking, around the Eurobodalla Shire. I'm going to focus on the sorts of destinations and businesses that I think could benefit from council installing a bike rack. I'm doing this because I spent a lot of 2021 and 2022 working from Perth, and I quickly noticed how many businesses had a council-installed bike rack located conveniently out the front or nearby. I also noticed how a lot of those businesses benefited from having customers arriving by bike to spend some money. I did a whole series just on cafe parking, so you can get a feel for seeing what bike parking can look like. Part 1 in this series had a look at 6 businesses around Batemans Bay. Part 2 is going to look at a couple of beaches. Let's start with Casey's Beach. You've got a little playground, you've got picnic tables, you've got a nice car park which is big enough to accommodate overnight campers. You've got toilets, you've got a barbecue, rubbish bins, all picnic tables. I mean, this is a nice little spot. And the one thing it's lacking is somewhere to park a bike. I mean, why is it that it's got all this other infrastructure, but something as simple as a bike rack is missing? I think it wouldn't be too hard to come down and install one, would you? Sunshine Cove, one of our favourite little local beaches. Good for walking the dog and exercising the kids. And I know this one quite well because one of our kids catches the school bus from right next door here. But what about bike parking? What if we want to ride down here and go for a walk on the beach or go for a swim? We want to lock the bike up so we don't have to walk home. Well, the best option we've got is that pole there. There's absolutely nothing here. I mean, okay, look, there's not a lot of people that do come down here, so it's not absolutely crying out for a bike rack, but again, I'm just indicating that we've got all these beautiful beaches, and yet council's manic about building car parks and bitumenising the section right next to the road, or right next to the beach, so people can drive when you don't actually have to. For us, we walk down here. That's how close it is. But there's times we'd actually want to ride down because we just want to get in the water and get home again. So yeah, where's the bike parking? Well, here's a classic little tourist business, and yeah, there's a bike out the front, but that's been there for years. It's just part of the decor. If I wanted to ride down here and actually buy something that I could fit in my panniers or in my backpack, and there's lots of little things in there, where am I going to park? Where am I going to lock the bike up? Where am I going to put it where other customers aren't going to trip over it? Surf Beach, woohoo, I made it without being killed by idiotic council engineering. And no, this is not where I'd usually park the bike. There were a couple of bikes that I saw on the way in opposite the cafe over there, and yeah, unfortunately I've already had breakfast in town. Look, I really like the idea of a second breakfast, and I do like their bacon and egg rolls, but I think I'll have to give it a miss this morning. So yeah, monstrous car park here, and of course there's the extension that goes down there where you can park on the grass, and then what can you park here? 50, 100 cars or so. Council's put a lot of money into constructing a good car park here, which is great, except come summertime, it's never big enough. And the demand here is so great that this time of the year you could probably build a multi-storey car park here and it would still be full on a hot day. The rest of the year would be a waste of money. So again, how do you get around those problems? Well, you enable people that have a desire to ride down here. E-bikes are a thing these days. Look, I know it's pretty lumpy between, Casey's, etc. That hill going over there, if you're on a bike without an electric motor, it can be hard work. But people mitigate these days by going and buying an e-bike. It's as simple as that. And then hills are not a problem. Hills become flat. So, this idea of, people will never ride to the beach because it's too hilly is just a non-starter these days. The electric bike revolution has arrived, and e-bikes are currently outselling electric cars by a factor of 5 or 7 or something like that. Clearly the Australian public has taken to them, and this would be a perfect place to buy yourself an El Cheapo e-bike, you know, not a $9,000 or $10,000 one, but even maybe one you get from Aldi. So you can just pop down the beach, and yeah, but where do you lock it up? Show me where in this huge car park, which has been built for cars, where you could lock up some bikes securely and conveniently, and the answer is, well, there isn't any, is there? Now, whose responsibility is it to do that? Is it the cafe owner, or is it the council? You know, firstly, I think council should, because you know, councils set a precedent by providing car parking. Then you know, bikes are actually vehicles under the New South Wales Traffic Act. They're classed as a vehicle, so there should be parking for this type of vehicle as well as, you know, those types of vehicles. Pretty simple, isn't it? Right, Surf Beach shops. Now, I know I'm outside the bottle shop, and yeah, I have actually ridden my bike through a couple of bottle shops to pick up, you know, beer, wine, gin, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm not averse to doing that. So what have we got here? IGA, pharmacy. Let's just go through and have a look and see where I could lock my bike up if I decide to ride down here and pick something up. I guess there's some rails there I could use. That'll do. So if I was going to the pharmacy, I'd just use that. Not ideal, but you know, it'll do. That crust is open early. Again, I mean, they're designed for people to hold on to and not fall over when they're going up and down stairs and ramps, not for locking bikes up. And if I lock the bike up there, I'm going to block access, aren't I? Well, there you have it. 3 beaches and a shopping centre and 0 bike parking. 0. Now, I'm going to finish this off with showing you the bike parking around some beaches in Fremantle. And you tell me which one you think is better. What we have here in Batemans Bay, or what they've got over in WA in the Fremantle area.